In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This census first took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to his own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, his betrothed wife, who was great with child. We see Joseph here at the time of a census. Other translations say a tax. It was both. It was a census in order to levy a tax. So to say as a census, to say as a tax, it's the same thing under the Roman system. We have a similar system in the United States Constitution, which is honored in the breach. It has never been implemented. It says that taxation shall be in accordance with the census taken of the populations of the states, but we've never implemented it for whatever reason. Caesar does not always play by his own rules. But Caesar does get to make rules in some things. We've been talking about the authority of Caesar, of secular government, of Caesar, and how far that authority extends or does not extend into that area which in our legal system here in the United States is called family law. So let's talk about it as families. Do we need to comply with family law? Yes and no. As it applies to the legitimate authority which the secular government has over family registration, yes, we do. As it affects taxes, yes, we do. As it affects immigration, we do. For quite some time, I've been involved in one way or another in a project that when I first got deeply involved, I was a subcontractor in a United States government program, a United States State Department program for refugee resettlement. And one of the things that I'm speaking as a group, all of us who worked in the project, speaking in that collective that we have had to do in helping these war refugees coming to America is that although many of them are married, that because their Christian marriages were not recognized by the country in which they are fleeing, which was the Islamic Republic of Sudan, and the Islamic Republic of Sudan does not recognize Christian marriages, that when they came to the United States, they had to, for immigration purposes, list their marital status, their family status as single, which means that they were not married by the terms that the United States government recognizes for immigration purposes. That's a fairly technical point. But they were married in God's eyes to their wives. Sometimes the bureaucratic forms and hoops that we must jump through as Christians differ from the reality that we know we live in. So, does Caesar have authority to tax? Yes. Does he have the authority to tax married and single persons differently? He has that authority. Whether that's right or not, it's a tax authority. He has tax authority. If he wants to tax tomatoes as vegetables instead of fruits, he can tax them that way, and he has done it, even though a tomato is a fruit. If he wants to call a monkey a duck, he can call a monkey a duck, but that does not change what the monkey is. It doesn't make it a duck. But for tax purposes, it may be a duck. And so Joseph was an immigrant. He actually went from one country to another within the Roman Empire. And he was an immigrant for tax purposes. And he registered according to the legal system that was in place for that registration for tax purposes. He did the right thing. And when we register our status with the government for tax or immigration purposes according to their bureaucracy, their bureaucratic forms, and saying this is the category we fit in your way of speaking of it, we do no wrong. That doesn't turn a monkey into a duck. And we need to recognize that as we stand before God, that we are who we are, single, married, whatever, that we are that before God, regardless of what Caesar says. But we need to fill out the forms Caesar's way.